Everyone, are you looking for fantasy football advice? Are you on the cusp of playoffs? Stay tuned. We got all the info to dominate your league coming up. Hey everyone, welcome back to Encinas Unfiltered. We are informed, unfiltered, unmatched. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I've been saying this for about a month now. We're official YouTube partners. So thank you for all those who have been supporting us. We also have a membership program through YouTube. For the first 100 members, we're actually going to offer our Founders Edition, which X here coined, which is all of our tiers. So there's 4 tiers of our membership. You'll have all the access to Discord, which I think is a big one, to ask for start and set advice, trade advice from X, just really any kind of fantasy advice, as well as all the other things that Encinas Unfiltered has to offer. Once 100 people have joined, that's it. We're done. And then you'll have to just pay for the regular tiers at that point. But it is for a limited time. If you want to see early access to our episodes, our shorts, and a link to our Discord, you can go ahead and check us out there. Also, we are thinking about doing some holiday merch with Black Friday and Christmas right around the corner. And I know X is probably going to have a little promo here and then second coming. But if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and go to the link in our description, or you can see the link in our bio, and you can see all the stuff that we have Encinas Unfiltered related. X, you want to give the people a little bit of merch promo here?
So, the merchandise is obvious here, boys. You know, you're going to be walking in with that Encinas Unfiltered shirt, right? Prime, Egyptian, cotton, sewed in a gold-plated sewing machine. Top-notch quality, the best you're going to find. Things that the Greek gods would envy. Things that wars are fought over for this type of merchandise here, boys. At a discounted quality price for the boys. To make sure. I mean, look at this hat. Look at this hat. Tell me this does not scream, I know what I'm talking about. I dominate every league. I'm top-notch. You know what I mean? What else is there to say here, boys? Get yourself a nice little Christmas present, you know, hint it at the wife, hint it at the missus or the mister. Hey, you know, you do you. But, you know, get that merch.
So we want to thank our friends at Fantasy Royale. So Fantasy Royale is actually created by Austin Ekeler. Many of you know him from the Chargers. Now he's on the Commanders. Heal up, my friend. But he created a free 100%, like 100%. Like, I'm not lying. People are like, wait, what do you mean it's free? I'm like, it's 100% free. You go in, it takes about 30 seconds. You pick the winners of each games. Yeah. You put in the final yards and the points for the last Monday night game of the week. Sometimes there's 2. We've seen that in the last couple weeks. And if you win, you get a $100 gift card. But the kicker is, if you can get all the games right, Austin Ekeler himself will send you $1,000. So I think that's pretty sick. I think there's only been 1 winner so far. No winner this week for week 8. So now we're in week 9. But it's definitely something to check out. The link will be down in our description. You can also check our Instagram or our TikTok. It'll be everywhere. But it's 100% free. There's no reason. I just want somebody, a community member, somebody, a friend of a friend at this point. Yeah. I just want somebody we know to win. We actually had somebody get second place. So they were tied for first. They had 41 points total. The winner with 40 points won the Monday night game and got the $100 gift card for some NFL merch. So that's the highest. I think the highest I've gotten is sixth place this year. So I definitely recommend it to everybody. Check that out. It's 100% free. Why not? A free $1,000, shot $1,000. You can't really go wrong with that. So thank you to friends of Fantasy Royale, and definitely go check them out. All right, today's episode, we're going to do a week 8 recap. So we got a little bit of NFL news. We got some boomer busts, PPR format, of course. Week 9 injury report, week 9 buys. We got some waiver wire pickups. We got week 9 start sit, which is our quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end. Some trade targets for week 9. I'll give you a little bit of who I think you should buy low, sell high. And then X is going to give us some tips. He always comes up with 4 tips of the day for our trades for each week. Then we're going to do our week 9 football bets. So we're going to look at the money line, over, under, and the spread. And the very end, we're going to do some hot takes. All right, getting into our week 8 NFL recap. So we got no more winless teams. The Jets finally won. Wild. Mind you.
Probably lost every single person on that Fantasy Royale.
Oh, I think the Atlanta game was probably the worst one. I think Atlanta was worse. I think Atlanta losing to Miami was pretty bad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the Jets got a win. They beat the Bengals 39-38 at the very end. It was a very close game. Your boy X over here told me to drop Justin Fields and pick up Kirk Cousins. So that didn't work out too well. Ooh. But, you know, hey, here we are. But the Jets are no longer winless, and I don't know what's going to happen with them. They have a bye this week, but just something to note. So that's kind of interesting. We got Skattebo that was a shitty injury. Let me tell you. Like, I'm not really a Giants fan. I mean, San Francisco, but not New York. But man, that one's tough. He's a sack guy, Central Valley. What's up? And I
Yeah.
just really enjoyed the way he played football. Like, it was fun to watch. It was exciting. Him and Jackson Dart really, like, I don't know. People tuned in to watch them play. Fantasy,
It's one of
obviously, the fantasy
those
players.
it's one of those, like, as a fan of the game, you hate to see it. You
Right.
hate to see every type of injury, like any injury, really. But to a young player, you don't know how that's going to affect him going forward. You know what I mean? Because coming back from those injuries, they're not easy. The rehab's rough. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so to see it on such a young player is really unfortunate. And get rid of those turf fields. As I'm gonna preach it every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And I just, like I said, I really enjoyed watching him. I didn't have him on any fantasy teams this year because X and I were really wrong about the guy. But I do enjoy the way he plays football. Kind of reminds me when you and I used to play back in high school. Very, before it changed. Very.
Yeah.
There's a lot of helmet to helmet going on. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean.
It was
Um,
actually football.
yeah, a little different these days. But rest up. I would like to see him back. Hopefully he's okay. Coming back next year. But that one was definitely bad, and yeah, that one hurt. I think that one hurt a lot of people. Next, we got Rodgers getting handled by the Packers. Man, that was a rough game. I really thought Rodgers was going to have after the
Ugh.
Unk Bowl. I thought he was going to have a little bit more. I just think Green Bay is a lot younger. Their defense is pretty good with Micah, and honestly, the Steelers don't really have that many weapons, and I think that's kind of what we saw on display there was just Green Bay. Just Jordan Love had a game too, so sucks for Rodgers, but hey, it is what it
It is
is.
what
The
it
Packers
is.
are definitely a Super Bowl contender in my opinion. So, but great game nonetheless. Then probably one of my favorite games of the week. We had the Broncos whoop that ass against Dallas, and Dallas played their backups in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes left. I mean, nothing says that you're getting your ass whooped like sitting your starters. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
a lot of we got. I wouldn't say I hate the Cowboys. It's just I like to make fun of them, and it's great for content. So thank you, Dallas, for being down. Well, no, thank you, Jerry Jones, for being Jerry Jones and setting up your defense
yeah.
to allow us to have a lot of talking points this year. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming weeks because their defense is definitely hurting. And I think with the trade deadline approaching, which honestly we should probably talk about a little bit,
Mhm.
it's going to be interesting to see what these teams are going to do because there's a lot of teams that
I
need a lot of defensive players.
yeah, I think a really good game was a Houston game. I thought that was a great
Oh
game.
man,
I
you know
thought that
how
was a
good the
pretty good
Houston game
game.
was? You know how good the Houston game was?
I thought it was pretty good.
You want to know how good it was? Like truly?
Truly.
I turned it on, okay, 10 a.m. West Coast time. We're in the West Coast. Turned the game on, laid back down in bed, fell asleep to the third quarter. That's how exciting that game was, okay?
I thought it was a great game. I thought the ending
Uh,
was Cinderella perfect.
as
I mean,
the
I thought it was great.
The Niners need help. I don't know what they're gonna do. There's not much they can do. They're hurt. So yeah,
You
my,
know,
my
we're
ass fell asleep, bro. It was
we're
sad.
we're trying to break you from this delusion. I broke out of my delusion. Now it's time to save you.
No, I
Now
mean
it's
we're gonna
time to
make the
save you.
playoffs. We're just not gonna go far. That's nothing new. I've been saying that. Our Super
First
Bowl
round
window's
knockoff,
gone.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be like a first game gone, depending on who we play. We could probably still
Right.
beat Dallas.
And
I don't even think we'd play him though. But anyways, the next topic, I think X needs to issue this guy an apology. We got Justin Fields. He did pretty well this week. Is he the starter in week 10? We'll talk about that a little bit later, but he's in a bye week for week 9. He did do well this week. I think you owe him a little apology. What do you think?
I do.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure somebody else here owes an apology to him too.
Okay,
Not
I'll
just
take that
me.
back. You owe me an apology for
I
telling me
don't
to drop
owe
him.
you.
Oh, yes, you do. You told
There's
me.
no way. Look, every single week, and it happens every single week, there are things that should be that sometimes do not come to fruition. Look, it wasn't just you. I died on my own sword too. I benched I benched Waddle. It cost me a win. It cost me a win. So I fell on my own sword.
There was a
You
reason why I
shouldn't
picked him up.
look. You also should have had the mental fortitude to withstand my persuasion. You did not.
Well,
Because
what I
you
did?
thought the
I mean,
same exact thing that I did.
I was on the fence, okay, but I was like, great matchup. Bengals have a bad defense, okay. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does well. He has rushing upside. No other quarterback on the bench or on the bench on the waivers had good upside for rushing,
Right.
so I was like, maybe he does something. You pointed out to me, Kirk Cousins in the dome. You always got to start him. Well, Kirk Cousins looked old, let me tell you. And I don't think Kirk Cousins of Minnesota is there no more. And that Atlanta line is not like the Minnesota line. And I think that's the difference. And we've seen that last year with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he held
So
on to the ball
yeah,
very, very long. Way
yeah.
too long. Way too
So
long.
so I guess you owe me an apology, but that's fine. Next time I'm just going to stick with my gut, and it is what it is. But my opponent only put up 40 points this week because he forgot to set his lineup, so I think I was okay. Either way, I digress.
You got a lucky free win.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of Kirk Cousins, I said Miami destroyed the Falcons. Like, I don't know what happened. I'm pretty sure a lot of parlays were killed off of that game because everyone thought Tua was just not going to have it. My question is Kirk done? I already kind of made my point with him. He's old, so
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I think he is good enough to have to finish out a game. Probably not a full game though. Like not to start to finish.
Yeah, that's fair. And then the Colts got a win again, so they have the best record in the NFL at 7-1. It's the weirdest times. Who would have known that Anthony Richardson's backup or replacement, I should say, not backup, was going to be the guy?
There is a rumor that they are looking to extend old Indiana Jones over there.
They absolutely should.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. Point. I think a lot of it, though, I'm not saying all of it, but a lot of pressure gets taken off Jones because of the good year that Taylor's having.
That's fair.
I mean, it simply is what it is there. Colts offensive line is much better than I thought they were. So, yeah. I mean, that's nice there. And I have 2 Indianapolis Colts fans, and they both didn't expect the season to go the way that it did. They were expecting about an average season. They weren't expecting to be the best record team in the NFL. But the one thing to note, though, is they've only played 2 real good teams. So as we continue on, we're going to start to see, who knows, they might be pretenders in disguise.
Well, yeah, I'm waiting for them to play. I think they play the Chiefs. So I think that's the game for me that's going to be able to see, okay, how good are they, right?
Yes.
So I think once they play the Chiefs, we'll truly know. But I think for sure they need to get on that Daniel Jones extension because Anthony Richardson just isn't it. And they need to either develop him or they need to trade him. Let's get into some week 8 boomer bust. So I'm going to kind of give you a round number, if that makes sense. So usually full transparency here. We're unfiltered, not really uncensored, but behind the scenes, right? We'll give you a little behind the scenes access. I forgot to do them so in my notes here, but I had every intention to. So I'm just going to read it off of the fantasy app because that is basically where I get my source of the points. So at quarterback, our boom, we had Jordan Love at 28 points, Drake Maye at 27 points. He is him. Justin Herbert at 26 points, and we had a 3-way tie for 25. We had Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, and Bo Nix. For the bust, yeah, this is not going to be nice. We had Baker Mayfield, 4 points. Spencer Rattler, 4 points. We had Kirk Cousins, 7, and Dak Prescott at 9. And he was tied with Carson Wentz. Not very good. Not very good there. All right. Boomer bust at running back. Jonathan Taylor, we just talked about him, 37 points. James Cook, 34. Saquon Barkley, mind you, he only played the first half, 33 points. Then we had Breece Hall, also at 33 points. Some of the busts, let me go and look down here a little bit at some of the people that we have picked up. We got Jordan Mason at 2 points. That's surprising. Jakrowski Merritt, 3 points. Oof.
Told you, get rid of that boy.
Yeah, dude, you need to trade him to me. Judkins at 5 points. And tied with him is Aaron Jones and Rico Dwaddle. They're finally splitting in Carolina, and that show is now over. So tough for Dwaddle or Hubbard.
Worthless. Stupid coaching right there. There's a reason why the Panthers suck. Stupid coaching.
Bijan had 6 points. Yeah.
Oh, how is he not on that list? He's a number one. He's the best running back ever. He's
To be
the
fair, so
greatest
is
in the
Judkins.
world.
Judkins had 5, but Judkins got hurt. So
No.
yeah, he had a rough game. They didn't give him a lot of carries. He only had 9 carries.
I don't give a fuck. He's supposed to be top notch, dude. Fuck that dude. See, I told you the second I give him praise, that was going to happen. So you know what? Bijan's the best running back in the league. He never gets injured. He never gets season-ending injuries ever. So watch. Yeah.
We just talked about now.
Your boy's not on crack. Your boy's not on crack. Your boy is on to something.
Yeah,
boy's on something.
He's on something for sure.
Yeah, you figured out that.
Do you want to take a guess?
Useless.
I'm going to switch the subject here. I need some receivers from you. You're hating on Bijan too much. That's my boy. I like Bijan. I like him a lot. Dude, Kirk Cousins is just boo-boo, bro. I think he'll be fine. You're going to start that boy. You're telling me that if someone didn't offer you Bijan Robinson for like a mid-tier running back, you're not going to trade him?
I would do it out of value to turn around and trade him.
That's wild.
For somebody
I'd start
else.
Bijan every week. I'd start Bijan
100%.
every week. Saquon had better weeks too. Is Saquon trash?
Saquon's not trash. He had 2,000
That's what I'm
yards.
saying. Okay. Bijan's up there too. Not with 2,000 yards, but
yeah.
Anyways, I digress. You're just a hater. All right. I'm going to go to some receiver, boom or bust. I'm going to go start with the boom. Can you tell me who the number 1 receiver was this week?
Of boom?
Boom.
Oh, man. I can tell you it wasn't Leggett.
Well, do you what you know about, hey, it's Franklin?
Oh.
No. Troy Franklin.
Denver. The one weaker, dude.
No, he's been okay. He's been steady. He had 12.9 points last week. 7 points this week. We had Rashee Rice. Who would have known? Oh, who would have known? Rashee Rice is just, and he's not a number 1 receiver.
Rashee Rice is trash.
26 points. Michael Pittman, 24.
I'm saying Rashee Rice is trash for my boy because I know he's going to be watching this. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Young. He's absolute garbage. He's not a number 1. He needs to be traded. Great. He's equal to Calvin Ridley.
No, he's not. Calvin Ridley's
absolute
trash.
Garbage.
All right. Then we got Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Ladd McConkey, and Khalil Shakir all at 21 points and a tie. The bust. Quentin Johnston.
Oh, guess who's back, boys?
0 points. He's back. But he had no targets either, so he didn't drop the ball. I'll give him that. Jerry Jeudy had 0 points. At least he had 2 targets. Hollywood Brown, 1 target, no points. You got to feel bad for those boys. Let me scroll up here. We got a little bit of Matthew Golden, 3 points. Leggett, 4 points. Debo, 4 points. Luke McCaffrey, 5. Coleman, 6. Ibuka, 7. Yeah, those are some of the bigger names.
Yeah, Ibuka.
Wasn't too great. It wasn't too great. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a pretty rough week for some receiver owners,
especially for the big bye week too. That is so rough. This was the worst time for all of those people to do bad.
For sure,
worst time.
Next we're gonna get some tight end boom. So we got Tucker Kraft at 33 points. Tight ends day, baby. Went off. Travis Kelce, 22 points, and Gadsden, 19 points. I mean, that was we kind of saw that coming, and then a 2-way tie with Fannin and Goddard at 18. Yeah. Some of the busts, man, it's kind of bust line out here. Jake Ferguson, 0 points, 0 catches, 1 target. That's rough. Then we had, Dalton Kincaid with 3 points, 1 catch for 24 yards.
They do
we
not
had TJ Hawkinson.
That man well.
No, they don't. TJ Hawkinson at 5 points, Colson Leveland at 7, and Evan Ingram tied with Hunter Henry for 8. Wasn't the greatest week for tight ends either. All right, let's get into some week 9 injury report here. So we got quarterback Lamar Jackson, hamstring. He's expected to play, but still keep an eye on that. We got Jaden Daniels. Yeah, he should be playing though. We got Jaden Daniels, his hamstring. He's day-to-day, kind of keep an eye. Kyler Murray, his foot, I don't really know. It's looking like a no. I think he should, though, because we're playing Dallas. I think it's a great matchup for him if he can come back. Brock Purdy, toe, it's still day-to-day, so I don't really know, but he might be on track to play. Something to monitor. J.J. McCarthy, it's his ankle, but he's supposed to be coming back. And now, which I will get into, is Carson Wentz. He just is out for the season with a shoulder injury, so they kind of don't really have any other options. I think J.J.'s going to come back in. Michael Penix's knee. I think after what we saw with Kirk Cousins, he's coming back. And Bryce Young, ankle, I'm not sure if he's coming back yet. But those are the quarterbacks to kind of keep an eye on. Saquon's on a bye, so we're going to get to running back. Saquon's on a bye. but his groin, he's on the bye week, so kind of keep an eye out for that. Talked about him earlier. Cam, he's out for the season. Rest up. Hassan Haskins is still out with a hamstring injury, and Pacheco has an injury this week during the Chiefs-Commanders game. So it looks like Kareem Hunt is going to be the guy for now. Okay. All right, receiver, Nico Collins, concussion. I don't know if he's going to play. Puka Nacua, his ankle. He's expected to play. Drake London, hip. I don't know if he's playing. Jacoby Myers, it says his knee, but I know he wants to get traded, and the trade deadline's on the 3rd. So keep an eye on that. So even if he is healthy, he might get traded, and that's it. And he's probably not going to play that week. Matthew Golden, his hip. Ricky Pearsall, knee. I don't think he's going to be back quite yet. Calvin Ridley still has his hamstring injury. Christian Kirk is also his hamstring, and Luther Burden had a concussion. So don't expect him to play. And for tight end, we got Brock Bowers, his knee. He's expected to come back and play, so I think you're okay there. Darren Waller, he still has his pectoral, and he's on IR. So he'll be out for a minimum of 4 weeks. And Cole Kmet, his back is still hurt. We talked about him last week. So that's about it with that. Next, we're getting into some Week 9 buys. Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, Philadelphia Eagles, and Tampa Bay Bucks. So only 4 teams. Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. It's going to hurt, but it's okay. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
Only for those 2. The Browns and
for sure.
The Browns
and
the Jets.
Brees Hall had a good week. Brees Hall had a good week. We have our Week 9 waiver wire pickups. So quarterback, we got Matthew Stafford. He has a really good matchup this week against New Orleans. I really suggest picking him up. Sam Darnold, we've been talking about him every week. He's kind of a week-to-week starter based on matchup, but he's performing very well. So if you have a bye week quarterback, consider playing him. We got Jacoby Brissett. That's only if Kyler's not playing, and I think Kyler's on track to not play. So Jacoby Brissett versus Dallas is a great matchup. And Joe Flacco. So Joe Flacco is actually questionable, and I forgot to say that on our injury report. I think he'll be okay, but Joe Flacco's been playing lights out. So definitely not a bad start.
It was a sore shoulder day to day.
He's 40,
just
dude. It's
old
fine.
Man stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. Stuff. Put some Bengay on it. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be all
right. Put some icy hot from that icy hot bowl, aka the Unk Bowl. He'll be good, dude. All right, running back Tajay Spears. You absolutely need to pick him up. He's now got more than 50% of the snap share in Tennessee at this point. So if you have not picked him up, you definitely need to. Tyrone Tracy. This is you have to pick him up, I guess, but he didn't do so well before when Cam Skattebo wasn't, or when he was the starter and Cam was the backup. So he's going to be the starter now, but I don't know if he's as explosive as Cam is. So pick him up kind of knowing that there's a lot of hype around him right now, but don't expect him to be putting up double-digit fantasy points like Cam Skattebo was. And then you have Isaiah Davis from the Jets. He's on bye week this week, but he kind of took some carries away from Brees Hall. Brees Hall still did very good, but more of those deeper league pickups. Samaje Perine, he's Cincinnati's backup to Chase Brown. He's another good deeper league option, especially for those 14-man leagues where there's no more running backs available. Receiver, Troy Franklin. Why Troy Franklin? Because Troy Franklin, it absolutely went off, and he's looking like he's one of Bo Nix's favorite targets right now. So he's definitely a good pickup, especially with Bo Nix throwing the ball quite a bit. Then you got Xavier Hutchinson. He's a rookie out there, and for the Texans, CJ's got to throw it to somebody, and Nico Collins and Christian Kirk are out. So he's deciding to throw it to him, and he had the best week out of those receivers. This is probably my number one waiver wire pickup next. I'm not even going to lie to you, and I hope X is not listening here. But Chimere DK, he has been putting up 16. He's very consistent, right? 16 points.
I'm just letting you know, bro. He's on my waiver wire on every single league.
Dude, yeah. He's like my number one guy. Like, I'm picking him up first. If I don't, he's going to be gone. So he's my number one waiver wire guy. You know, freaking Cam Ward's got to throw it to somebody, and he's throwing it to him. He's a rookie. They're figuring it out.
He right now is Cam Ward's favorite, and the offensive coordinator is genuinely loving using him right now.
Yeah.
Like hardcore. A lot of plays are actually getting designed for him due to his speed and his elusiveness. So he is actually, for me, wide receiver pickups, he is the number one. You are right. He should be the number one.
For sure. For sure. He's I just think you just look at, you want consistency, you want chemistry with the quarterback. And even though his points, I think, is projected at 8, you shouldn't let those, like, as you kind of get, you know, there might be some newer people watching or some vets. Don't let that kind of sway you. You kind of want to look at matchup. You want to see targets. To me, targets is more important than if a guy got 3 catches and didn't have a good score, but he had like 9 targets. I'm like, hey, that might be somebody I need to look at because he's getting
Yeah.
a lot of looks for the ball, like the ball's coming his way.
Yeah.
This guy's consistent, and to me, if you are in a position to pick him up, you absolutely do because he's
And
showing that with every opportunity that
one
he's going to get the
thing
ball.
yeah, one thing you should do is actually rely on your friends that are fans of certain teams because they'll be able to tell you. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, for me, I'm not going to tell you because technically DK is actually the number 2 receiver. He's actually not the number 1. AO Manor is actually the number 1. But like me as a Titans fan, I would tell you, no, DK is the guy right now. He
Right.
is like he should be the number 1, but he's actually the number 2. So don't be afraid to ask your friends, "Hey, what do you think about, like with the Colts, right?" I ask them all the time, "Hey, what do you think about Pierce? What do you think about Downs?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I really like him, but he's not really doing much right now in the offense." You know what I mean? So sometimes rely on your friends a little bit.
Yeah, I just kind of want to go back to the point. He's getting the ball a lot. Check
Yeah.
targets, and you want consistency. And this is a guy that I think if you absolutely get an opportunity to grab him because I don't think he'll be on the waivers much longer. And last, I got Christian Watson. Christian Watson came back. Jalen Reed's hurt. I don't know how long he's hurt for. I don't know if it's for the year or what. He did break his collarbone. So Watson kind of is that veteran presence there. He's going to come in, especially with Golden being hurt. He got 4 receptions, I believe, but it was his first game back. I really do like him. He's always been pretty decent every year. And because he's very familiar with Jordan Love, I think he's a good sneaky pickup, especially in great matchups. He's definitely going to be a red zone target. All right, moving on to tight end. I said it last week, and he's probably going to be the last time on this list. And I think honestly, I'd probably put him the last time on even the tight end list for like a start because I do think he's one of the top 5-10 tight ends this
Yeah.
year. Is Oronde Gadsden? Oronde is very good. The Chargers are really looking to him. Like I said, he's not even the number 1 tight end on his team. He's like tight end 2, I believe. But he's
Yeah.
a great receiving tight end, 6'5", great hands. His dad played in the NFL as well, but he's definitely a must start, must pick up, and you're going to start him every week until the wheels fall off. Next, you got Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor plays for the Jets. They got to throw it to somebody. Garrett Wilson's hurt. Everyone's hurt. They're kind of getting the ball. He might be a decent week-to-week fill-in. David Njoku's back from injury, even though Fannin had a really good week this week. Njoku is starting to get those looks, and he is their number 1 tight end. So expect him to still get the ball. Both those tight ends, I think, are viable in a week-to-week good matchups. If Shedeur Sanders becomes a starter, all that team's stock goes up, in my opinion, just based on Shedeur's accuracy. And last, we got Juwan Johnson. Your boy's back on the list. Well, why is Juwan Johnson back on the list? Well, they got Taysom Hill and Foster back, and he kind of has a couple of down weeks, but they're kind of starting to figure out that Juwan's the guy. He's a tight end 1 there. They're going to get him the ball. And Spencer Rattler actually got benched for Tyler Shuck, and I think that elevated the team quite a bit last week. So he might be a decent sneaky pickup.
The one thing to always remember whenever a rookie quarterback goes in there, start the tight end. The tight end is the safety net for every rookie quarterback when they start. They will do well for at least 2 to 3 weeks. So he might be a good pickup.
Yes. And then for defense this week, I like Los Angeles Rams against the Saints, Green Bay versus Carolina, and the Chargers against Tennessee. So I think those are the 3 top defenses this week. I think they have great matchups, and I definitely think if they are on the waivers for whatever reason, you should start them. And I just realized that I put Green Bay instead of Green Bay. Shoot. We got our starts and sits at each position. Starting at quarterback, I got Matt Stafford versus New Orleans. He put up more than 27 fantasy points in week 7 before his week 8 bye, and he should be getting Puka back. There's no reason for him to not have another good week against a really bad New Orleans team, even if Tyler Shuck's the quarterback. I just think it's a great play. Sitting, I don't know if X is going to like this one, but I'm sitting CJ Stroud versus Denver. And then he's like, well, why are you starting CJ Stroud after having a massive game against the Niners? Well, it's a really good defense. And I know Patrick Surtain is probably going to be a candidate for IR. That still doesn't concern me. They still are a very good defense. And I do not think that he does to Denver what he did to San Francisco, because Denver is a way better, more healthy defensive team. And his 2 starting receivers are out. I just don't know if we can trust Woody Marks and Nick Chubb and a handful of rookies to kind of get the job done, in my opinion, against a good Denver team and a Sean Payton defense. So that's why. Actually, you got starting quarterback this week.
Starting at quarterback, I got the boy Joe Flacco going against Chicago. Chicago does have a good defense. Joe Flacco still doing well, even with a sore shoulder of, old man syndrome. I'm pretty sure he will be fine. I would not worry about it. Worst case scenario, if he's got to do those little quick passes, he's got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So just throw that ball over there. They'll figure it out. If I did it just in case, if Joe Flacco is out, I'm actually going to start CJ Stroud against Denver because Surtain is out. I think CJ Stroud is finally getting out of that little sophomore slump, or I guess junior slump now, technically, right? Anyways, I think he's getting out of that slump. He's working his way. He's going to do big things. I like his matchup. He's got a bunch of little receivers that kind of prove themselves a little bit. So, they're going to have a fun time with that offense, in my opinion. Sitting, you're going to sit Tua against Baltimore. Normally, Baltimore is a Swiss cheese type defense. Tua, there's flukes every week in the NFL. They have their little fluke. Now they're going to go back to being what we all know they are. They're still absolute garbage. Tua is still garbage. Baltimore got Queens back. Good defensive player. So that bolsters their defense a little bit. In my opinion, I do not feel comfortable starting Tua. A lot of those Miami players besides a chain, I really don't feel comfortable starting, though I did make, unfortunately, a blood pact that I must start Waddle from here on out for the rest of the season because I lost a game because I didn't play it. So, yeah.
That's fair. Starting running back this week, I got Chase Brown versus Chicago. Brown has been getting more touches and passes from the backfield, and honestly, Joe Flacco elevates all the players for fantasy reasons. Receiver, running back, tight end, you name it. Until Joe Burrow gets back, I really like this team, and you should start him moving forward. Sitting, Raider fans are not going to like this. I'm sitting Ashton Jeanty against Jacksonville. Why in the hell am I sitting Jeanty? A good up-and-coming prospect. Well, Jeanty has a terrible offensive line. And Jacksonville has been a sneaky top 10 defense this year. So you put 2 and 2 together. I don't like that matchup by any means. X, who's starting at running back this week?
Starting at running back, I got Vidal against Tennessee. Tennessee is a ass team, as their quarterback has said. Jeffrey Simmons is also probably still out. With that being the case, you saw how Taylor was able to run all over him. There's no reason why the Chargers offensive line won't be able to do the same. You're going to be sitting Dowdle versus Green Bay. You're going to be sitting him because he is now in a stupid committee because the Panthers don't know how to coach. How they all get paid millions of dollars to suck is beyond me. I don't know. They must be taking notes from the Titans. So do not start Dowdle. Right now, put him on the bench. He is questionable because we are starting to get close to playoffs.
Do we need the FBI to investigate that one, or is it too soon?
There may or may not be a gambling ring going on.
Next, we're going to go with the receiver. I got Zay Flowers at Miami. So, mind you, this is if Lamar's coming back, which I'm pretty sure he is. But even if he doesn't, Tyler Huntley's been playing well enough that I think he's going to have a great game. Miami's defense has not been very good besides the Falcons, right? The Falcons played pretty bad last week. But I think Zay Flowers has a great matchup, and I don't see any reason to not start him. And then you're sitting Nico Collins. I'm going to be real. I don't know if Nico Collins is even going to play this week. And even if he does, I don't think they're going to fully play him like the full game just because he's coming off of a big injury. So because of that, I think he's a big risky start for the week. It's kind of like relatable to like Aaron Jones last week. And Aaron Jones didn't do very much because he's coming off injury. So that's kind of why I would say to sit him. X, who you starting at receiver this week?
Starting at receiver, I'm actually starting the boy DK and not DK Metcalf. We're talking DK from the Titans, number 17. We're starting the boy going against the Chargers. Why are we starting the boy? Because right now, a lot of people are kind of hurting at receiver. You got injuries all over the board when it comes to receivers. You're about to pick this boy up off of waiver wires if you don't already have him stashed. Play the boy. He is the favorite target. Tennessee's head coach got called out by even Cam Ward that he's not taking chances. So expect the Titans to start going for it on 4th and short a lot more. DK is going to be your solid slant, curl, real quick route type of guy that's probably going to get a lot of receptions if he's not getting yards. So probably going to be good there. Sitting, you're going to sit Pittman against Pittsburgh. I think Pittman is good receiver for the Colts. However, I think everybody around him is going to get a bunch of work. You know, Jonathan Taylor's having a year. So the Colts have been very notorious for getting ahead quickly. And with that being the case, that means that the chances of passes die down. So Pittman going against Pittsburgh, stingy defense. They're going to rely more on Taylor than they are that passing game.
Next, we're getting to our tight ends. So starting at tight end, I got Rondé Getson at Tennessee. I kind of said this earlier. He's a must start every week until proven otherwise. He's a top 10 tight end play. Honestly, he might even be top 5, depending on who they're playing. And honestly, I think this is the last time I'm going to put him on the list. I just think he's a must start every week at this point until he absolutely craps the bed. Justin Herbert's slinging that ball. You should start that boy against everybody. You're sitting Dalton Kincaid against the Chiefs. X actually alluded to this earlier. They're just not utilizing him. I don't know what's going on with Josh Allen this year. It's been weird, man. He's just not getting the ball down to his receivers and tight ends, and he's kind of just doing it all himself at this point. So he doesn't get enough looks. It's a bad matchup. Kansas City has a good defense. They usually don't give up a whole lot of points. They only allowed 7 to the Commanders last night. So I just don't like that matchup by any means. X, who you starting at tight end this week?
Starting at tight end, I know he is a top guy, but even if he is a top guy, I really like to highlight the matchup that he has. Tucker Kraft going against Carolina. The only reason, I guess another reason of why I feel like I should talk about Tucker Kraft is because I told you to sit him last week. Oh, man, that was a horrible, horrible take. As a tight end guru, that hurt my soul. That hurt me deep, cut me deep. So I got to make up for it. Tell you to start him against Carolina. Carolina's still an awful team. They're awfully coached because they don't even know how to use their offense correctly. So should give Kraft a lot of opportunities. Sitting, you're going to sit Zach Ertz against Seattle. Mariota did pretty good with Ertz last week. However, I don't feel like Seattle is going to give as much leeway in the middle of the field as a lot of other teams that they've played. Sam Darnold will probably be relying on Smith-Njigba more than anything.
Next, we're going to get into our defense. So starting this week, I'm starting the Rams against New Orleans. Why am I starting the Rams against New Orleans? Because New Orleans offense sucks. Even if Tyler Shuck's at quarterback, they're not going to be very good. And that defense is going to absolutely eat up a lot of fantasy points. I'm predicting maybe a pick 6 or a forced fumble for sure. For sure, an interception for my bettors out there. Sitting,
boys hating.
This one hurts. I'm sitting Minnesota at Detroit, and Minnesota honestly has a pretty good defense, but I don't know what's been happening the last couple weeks. I mean, they got absolutely lit up last week. So Detroit, in my opinion, has the best offense in the NFC. I know that's saying a lot with like the Eagles and the Rams out there, but they've been Amon-Ra and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery and Jameson Williams and Sam Laporta. It's nasty. And I don't like the matchup with Minnesota. Minnesota just literally got lit up by the Chargers at Thursday Night Football, which I thought it was going to be a lot closer. And because of that, it's kind of making me worry. And with JJ McCarthy potentially starting now, it's a couple 3-and-outs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's a far-fetched thing to say. It's not. The offense didn't get better. The offense got worse. Yeah. So definitely Minnesota's going to have a rough night, in my opinion. X, who you starting at defense this week?
Starting at defense, you are going to start Green Bay going against Carolina. Green Bay right now is just I horrifically love their defense a lot. It seems as though last week their offense finally got it on track a little bit. So I expect them to keep that momentum going against an easy team. Hopefully they don't go in there already thinking they got the win, because normally when teams do that, they end up getting their teeth kicked in. Sitting, you're going to sit Buffalo against Kansas City. Why are you going to do that? Not because Kansas City's offense is really all that great. The problem is both of their defenses kind of suck. Buffalo's defense, I do not like. I've never really liked Buffalo's defense, to be honest. And Kansas City is not what they used to be on defense. Uh, their D linemen are giving up in the middle of plays. They're not playing to the potential that they should be. And so that is going to allow Josh Allen to be able to do whatever he wants. And Patrick Mahomes is going to do Patrick Mahomes stuff. So to me, it's going to be a really high scoring game. You're going to watch two ugly defenses go at it, and it's not going to be a fun time.
Trade targets. So this is X's segment, but I'm gonna give you a couple guys I'm gonna buy low on. So I got Chris Godwin, Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, Rome Odozone, even though he had a good week, Genti, Mika, Henderson, and Terry. So what I mean buy low on them is that they're not really having crazy games or they're hurt. You could probably buy them a lot lower before they start because their stock's a little low. That doesn't mean that you're going to sell them low. That just means that if you can get them for a good deal, you're going to go out and buy them low. So if you're somebody who watches the show, you still want to sell them for the best you can. But I'm just saying, because I know there's some discrepancy with Colby around here where he says, oh, you got to buy them low. It's like, I'm telling you, if you can get them low, you get them low. Doesn't mean you're going to get them from me low. I'm going to sell them high to you because those are the guys that I like, essentially. Selling high on. These are the guys where I'm like, hey, you can get something out of them, sell them, because I don't know if I like them the rest of the year. Jamar Chase. Joe Flacco's a little banged up. Get your max value for him now. Justin Jefferson. He's taking a big hit with J.J. McCarthy coming back. Sell him. Kyle Pitts. He's having a really good year. Don't trust that offense. Sell him. R.J. Harvey. Best week you're probably going to see out of him this year. Sell him. Rashee Rice. It wasn't looking good in the first half. I'll be honest with you. He did not look good. I'm glad I sold him and got Saquon out of him. Do not trade. You're not going to trade for the Arizona running backs. It's too murky. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Justin Fields. He might have had a good game. I don't know if he's going to be the starter. And we'll talk about that later. Tua. Can't trust that guy. He's wishy-washy every week. Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker's on the list now. He is absolutely losing touches to Zach Charbonnet. I don't like him. Ramondre Stevenson, he's a fumble machine. Trayvon Henderson's finally getting some touches. I just don't know if I like him, unless maybe it's a better matchup, but it's a risky start for me. And Debo's finally made the list. Debo has not looked good since injuring his heel. I don't think you want anything to do with him, honestly, at this point. I would even not buy low or sell high. You want nothing. So that's where I'm at with those guys, and I will update the list next week, depending on the games. All right, X, give us some trade tips.
For me, you're not going to be trading for anybody this week. I don't really think there's anybody you should really be sticking your neck out for. If anything, you're going to trade away Tony Pollard. He's losing touches to Spears. Pollard's good enough to probably get you some type of mid-tier to low-tier running back. Probably better to trade him away for a handcuff, if that. Maybe trade him for Robinson once McCaffrey gets injured. Probably get a steal for that. You also want to trade away Egbuka, as Rod said, in a sense. Trade him away. He's not doing anything right now. Baker Mayfield is having a little bit of a rough time right now, but I think Egbuka's injury is a little bit more than people are letting on, than the organization's letting on. He's just not looking like how he was. So that in turn throws some questions for me. Going into the tips now. Don't force trades. I have a problem. I love to trade. And if I don't do one trade a year, I start to lose my mind. I really start to lose my mind. Sometimes you just got to accept the fact that the trades just aren't going to happen. Don't force them. Don't try and make something. Don't try and justify to yourself, this is a good trade. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't let yourself fall into that trap. Second, let trades come to you. You might have just been cruising along with your fantasy season, just like, all right, I'm having a good time here. I'm winning, I'm losing, it's just a good time. Like, I'm out here playing with the boys, setting up my lineups, doing the best that I can. And a trade might come your way, and you're like, oh man, I didn't think that dude was willing to trade that guy. Let's spark something up, right? So you're listening to all my other tips, and you're gonna get yourself out a nice deal. Now, once again, kind of referring back, if you're like me and you love to do trades, right? You're kind of looking, you're kind of hoping. Don't worry about it. Let the trades come to you. Don't sit there and look at everybody's team every single week, looking at how they did. Oh, they did bad. Maybe I should go trade for them. Nah, man, just calm down. Take a second. Look at your waiver wires. Concentrate more on your waiver wires than you are other people's teams, to be honest. Look at that waiver wire a little bit more. Let the trades come to you. You might be surprised. Put somebody on the trade block. See if that piques anybody's interest. Number 3, you're going to look for depth. If you're going to start to trade, at this point, the big trades have kind of already happened. If they were going to. They've kind of already happened. Your Amon-Ra's, your Josh Jacobs, your Pukas, your Justin Jeffersons, your Jamar Chases, all those superstars have kind of already been traded, and everybody is now starting to settle in. Everybody's settling in with their team. They're getting ready for playoffs. They're starting to gear up. You know what I mean? So now is a good time to start looking at those second stringers, because now we're starting to see injuries come around. So start looking at a team. Look at how much they use a player and be like, you know what? There might be a possibility that running back, that wide receiver gets injured. Look for depth. Don't always look for that starter. Look for the depth.
You need to look for those cuffs, essentially, is what you're saying. Look for those handcuff players.
Look for the handcuffs, but it's not only that, because look at what happened, right? You had Tony Pollard, who was the starter. Tajay Spears was barely getting anything. Granted, he was injured. But now you're starting to see the takeover, right? Dowdle, same thing. Tyron Tracy, same thing. They all, you know what I mean? They started getting, Tyron Tracy got his job taken away because you were looking at that second string running back and you were like, you know what, dude, Skattebo might be something. And then you ended up making a trade for him, right? Same thing. Dowdle took the job away from Hubbard. Hubbard got injured. You know what I mean? Those things happen. Look at those second stringers. Look at that depth and try and build yours. Because now that bye weeks are in full effect, try and look at that. Like I said, don't make a living looking at that. Let the trades come to you. Don't force any trades. But take a look. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people are going to be a lot more willing to trade away that second string running back than they are their starting running back, right? Last thing. Be confident with your team. Like I said, we are now starting to settle into playoffs. Start to get confident with your team. Start to understand this is the team I'm going to be going in with now. Obviously, trade deadlines aren't here yet, but start to get comfortable with the team that you have now. Because like I said, everybody's sort of getting settled in with what their team is. All the big trades are kind of done. Can big trades still happen? Obviously, anything can happen every single week. And you're still using all the other tips that I gave you, making sure that, you're taking minimal damage on the trades, trying to make fair trades, all those types of things. But be confident with the team that you have right now. Right now, you should be, as I said before, starting to look at that waiver wire, starting to settle in there. Just be confident with the team. Understand that this is the team you have. Start to look at your team. And like I said before in one of the last tips, start to look at what your playoff matchups are going to look like for that player. Just be confident with your team. Understand that this is your team. Run with it. Embrace it. Do the best you can with what you got.
So by the time our next episode airs, the trade deadline is going to be already done. I think there's some big names that you should kind of consider. Offensively, I think it's mostly going to be any kind of Titans player, maybe Calvin Ridley or something, because I know they said that they're willing to shop people. Offensive linemen don't really get traded, so I wouldn't really be worried about that. Jacoby Myers is one of the guys that is looking to get traded. I would say Brandon Ayuk might be one of the guys that is looking to get traded. I've heard rumors of George Pickens, which I think is wild. I think they need to keep him and probably re-sign him. Yeah. But George Pickens might be a good candidate to get traded.
Jerry Jones is dumb enough.
Well, I think just a lot of teams need defensive depth at this point, so they might be willing to part with some of their guys.
Well, we've seen a lot of D linemen be traded already. Titans traded away both of their starting cornerbacks. Patriots got some traded away some defensive players, got some defensive players.
So with those guys, I think you should just keep an eye on some of the bigger names. Myles Garrett, I don't think he's going to get traded, but that's a big name he wants out. Crosby's not going anywhere. Trey Hendrickson, if he comes back and he's okay, I think he's going to be a key candidate. So mind you, trade deadline for NFL and sometimes for some fantasy leagues is very different. So just be mindful and see
Yes.
what your league wants to do. So until then, we'll still continue to do our trades here, probably until our trade deadline, which I think is like around Thanksgiving time, which is pretty late. But also be mindful of those trades, because if you have like a Jacoby Myers or a Calvin Ridley or an Ayuk and you were planning on playing, maybe not Ayuk, but you're planning on starting a guy and then they get traded before the game starts, they're not going to play. So be mindful of that and have somebody ready to go just in case. All righty. We got our week 9 bets. We're going to go money line, the over, under, and the spread. I'm going to say what I'm going to do or what I like, and X is either an agree or disagree, and we're going to move on to the next game. So we got Thursday night football. We got Baltimore Ravens versus Miami. The Ravens are favorites by -7.5. The total is 50.5. I'm going to go over only because the Ravens defense is very Swiss cheese, even though I know you said otherwise, but I just don't like them. And I think with Lamar back, it's going to be a very high scoring game. But I think I like Baltimore at -7.5 on that.
I agree.
Okay. Next game, we got Chicago Bears versus the Bengals. The Bears are favored by -2.5. Ooh, I don't know. The total's 52.5. I'm taking the under on that. I think that's a little high. I think I'm gonna take Bengals at +2.5 just because I don't know if I could trust Caleb. He's had some pretty bad games, so I think I still like Joe Flacco there. X.
I agree.
All right, next game we got Denver favored by 1.5 points only versus Houston. The total's 39.5. I'm gonna go over on that because I think Denver has proven that they could score a lot of points, and I'm gonna take the -1.5 because I think that's easy money against Houston. I think Denver, it's a very winnable game for Denver, in my opinion.
I think it is going to be under, but I'm gonna take Houston. Houston's riding high right now.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah.
Next game, Chargers favored by 9.5 versus Tennessee. Easy money. You're taking that 9.5
Yeah.
all day. Easy.
Yep.
Total's 43.5. I'm going over. I think Cam Moore can get a touchdown with DK. So that's where I'm going on that. X.
I agree.
Okay. Next game. Colts are favored by 3.5 versus Pittsburgh. The
Ooh.
total's 48.5. I think that's
Ew.
high against a good Steelers
Yeah,
defense
that's
and a good
under.
Colts defense. I'm gonna take the under on that. Ooh, are the Colts gonna win by 3.5? You know what? Give me the Colts by 3.5. I like Jonathan Taylor. That's the only reason why. X.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll take the Colts.
All right, next game, we got the 49ers favored by 2.5 against the Giants. The total's 46.5. I think I'm going to go under on that just because Cam's out and the Niners' offense is banged up. A little biased pick, but I'm going to take Niners at 2.5 because I think Purdy is coming back. And I mean, even if Mac played, I think I still like the 2.5. Like I said, I think Cam Skattebo just really changed that team and Jackson Dart. And I don't think the New York Giants get it done against the Niners. X.
Yeah, without Skattebo. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Next game, Minnesota versus Detroit. Detroit's favored by -9.5, and I think that's too low. I'm taking the 9.5 all day. Minnesota's defense just got carved up. JJ McCarthy's now the starting quarterback. The total's 47.5, and I'll do the over only because I think that they can figure it out and score a couple, but I think Detroit's going to absolutely have a field day. So, X.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Next game, Carolina versus Green Bay. Green Bay's favored by 11.5. I think that's easy money with how their offense is playing and their defense is playing. The total's 42.5. Ooh, I think I'm going to go under only because I don't know if Carolina's going to score a lot. And that's the only reason why. But I like that 11.5 for Green Bay. X?
Uh, yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree.
All right. Next game, we got Atlanta. They're playing against the Patriots. The Patriots are favored by -5.5. I think that's easy money for the Patriots. The total's 45.5. I'm taking the under only because I don't know if Atlanta can score against the New England defense, and New England's actually been proving them to be they're proving to be very good this year. So, X, what do you think?
I agree.
All right, next game we got Jacksonville favored by 3.5 versus the Raiders. They are playing in Las Vegas, but I don't know if that really means anything
That's not
these days. The total's
That's-
43.5. I'm gonna take the under because I don't know if I can trust either of their offenses, to be honest. but I think I do like Jacksonville -3.5. I think that's an easy dub for them.
Yep.
Okay. Next game, Saints versus Rams. Rams are favored by 13.5. That's the biggest spread so far, and I think it's warranted. I'm taking the Rams for sure to win by 2 touchdowns, and the total's 44.5. I'm going under because I don't know if the Saints can score a lot of points in that game.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay. Next, this is my personal game of the week, and actually what our thumbnail is based off of. We got Kansas City favored by 1.5 versus Buffalo. The total's 51.5 points. That's high, dude.
I think it
That's
meets
high.
it, bro. I think
You think so?
I think so.
I think I'm going to go under on that. I'm assuming you're going to go over, but I
yeah.
think I'm going to take Kansas City just because Kansas
No.
City always has their number, dude. I don't trust Buffalo. Buffalo right now is just Josh Allen, and I think they can stop Josh Allen.
Buffalo has them in the regular season. They don't have them in the playoffs.
I just think the Chiefs are the most healthy team right now, man. I like them better, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
That's where we're at. Yeah.
I guess we're
agree to disagree on that one. The Sunday night game, Seattle Seahawks favored by 3.5 against the Commanders. I think especially if Jaden Daniels wasn't playing, that's easy money. I think you're taking Seattle Seahawks at -3.5 all day. The total's 46.5. I'm taking under only because of what we just seen against Kansas City when the Commanders played against them, and I don't know if that offense can score a lot. So I think I'm going to take the under on that. All right. Monday night game. This is actually a pretty good game, too. We got Arizona, depending on who plays, versus the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are favored by 2.5.
Yep.
I will say this. If Kyler's playing, I like the Cardinals' chances a lot better, but I think Dallas wins this one at -2.5. The total is 54.5. I think it goes over because I think Dallas has a really good offense besides last week, and I think the Cardinals can figure it out because Jacoby Brissett can score too. So
I don't think
the
Cardinals are going to be able to compete. That's going to be the problem.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So I think I'm going to go over on that, but X is under. Next, we got our hot takes. The Cowboys just got handled by the Broncos. Oh, so good to see. I can't wait till our boy Angel comes back to work so I can talk my shit. Does Dallas start to panic? Like, what do they need to do to be competitive? What are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, they need to. I mean, it's hard to say with Jerry Jones being their idiot general manager and owner and everything else, just being a control freak. Take him out of the equation. What they should be doing is they should be trading for defensive players. That seems to be where all their injuries is coming on to. If I was them, I would be looking at defensive trades, see if you could get anything that way. If not, then ride it out and hope your defense can do whatever they do. Because we all know that the defense is the problem. It's not the offense.
Correct. Well, last week they had a bad game, but in general, typically the Cowboys' offense is pretty good. I would say, honestly, besides defense, I mean, you got to throw the ball to Jake Ferguson. He's been proving every week that he's been a very good starter, and the fact that he got 0 points last week in fantasy and 0 catches is wild. That's your safety net. That's the guy you need to be getting the ball to.
I agree. I think they need to start using everybody else because when they didn't have Lamb, they started using everybody and their offense was very versatile. But now that they got Lamb back, all of a sudden they're reverting back and all they're doing is just going to Lamb. Like they don't have a run game, like they don't have a wide receiver too, like they don't have a good tight end. It's kind of weird. And they need to get out of that mentality.
Yeah, because they have a great tight end. They have a great, I mean, honestly, he's a receiver one on some teams, and George Pickens. And Javonte Williams has been very good this year, surprisingly. That's what they need to do, or they need to trade for a defensive player. I completely agree. And that's kind of where I was going with that question anyways. They're for sure buy candidates with a trade deadline coming up on Monday. Next, I kind of wanted to point out, so last week I had said, we're going to find out if Drake Maye is that guy, right? He's playing against Cleveland, a really good defense. We knew they were going to win. We just weren't sure how that game was going to pan out. Well, he is that guy. He absolutely went off. Myles Garrett had 5 sacks, though. I will give him that. Myles Garrett was very frustrated. I don't blame him. He had 5 sacks in the game, and they absolutely got demolished. I still think Shedeur Sanders gives them the best chance, but hey, it's neither here nor there. You're not going to switch up on Dylan Gabriel. But Drake Maye is that guy. That is to the boy Chad who's been calling it out. He is the number 4 or the number 2 fantasy football quarterback. I forget which one it is, but he's 2 or 4. Crazy. So he's doing great. A lot of rushing upside. Drake Maye is finally that guy. I wanted to ask you, since we love watching Camp Skattebo so much, how much do you think that Cam Skattebo injury will affect the Giants? Their trajectory was looking pretty good, maybe playoffs, like a sneaky 6 seed, 7 seed. Now
I think
I'm not really sure, to be honest. What do you think?
I think it hurts them enough because I think it hits more morale more than
Mhm.
actual gameplay. You
Yeah.
know, when when you're when you got this crazed CTE guy who's just sacrificing his body for the boys, like, there's that's a dude you want to fight for. That's a dude you want to fight behind. And to lose him, it hurts more morale wise than it does actual
Mhm.
gameplay because having him, like, it does affect gameplay. Obviously, you watch that boy just mow over somebody, kind of bolsters up the team. But I mean, if anything, like I said, it probably hurts morally more than it does actual
Right.
gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, I think I really like the Giants. I think they kind of had like a lot of momentum, but I think with that injury for me, it's kind of they're losing that momentum. Jackson Dart's obviously taking it very hard, and I
Yeah.
think like all that momentum that they had, I think is. I mean, we'll see. They're going to play the Niners this week. I just don't know if I like their trajectory currently, as rather than when I seen them like play the Eagles the first time, right, where they won.
Right.
I was like, I don't think I can see them doing that again. The next one I had is Justin Fields a trustworthy starter?
No. Oh, no, no,
Do
no,
you?
no,
So
no.
I'll ask you this: do you think he plays in Week 10, or do you think they bench him for Tyrod Taylor?
I think honestly, for your best chance to win, I think you should play Fields for
Hmm.
your best chance to win. Doesn't mean I trust him, doesn't mean I like him. I just think he's probably gives you your more athletic ability chance to win.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether you start him or not. I think obviously
No.
if he's a starter, there's always a shot. But I think you want to do it based on matchup, if that makes sense. I think him being top 13 or whatever is what Colby said is wild. So it's quite unfortunate. I was kind of hoping for him. Next is, of course, we got to talk about the 49ers. What do the 49ers need to do? They're getting injured each week and they need defensive help. So what do you think? What can they do anything? Is it too late? Are they too injured? I mean, what is your opinion on them?
Nah, I mean, personally, me, if I was them, you're not making it to the Super Bowl. Don't trade away anybody. Just chop the season up to a loss, play the best you can, and just get ready for next year or hope that nobody gets any season ending injuries and just kind of let your team recover. What they need to do is they need to fire their training staff and they need to hire new
Again?
people. Yeah.
I
That's
yeah,
the
I
main
mean,
thing, dude. That's the main
yeah.
thing. That's the main issue. Like, obviously, like I've said, the fields play a big factor, but at the end of the day, dude,
It's talking
your
about turf
training
folks, not
staff,
Justin.
yeah, yeah. Um, talking about the turf, like at the end of the day, like your training staff is supposed to make sure that they're healthy, make sure that they're ready to go, make sure that they're stretched out to make sure that they stay as healthy as possible. There are some things that are not in their control, but when your team is injured every single year, that's a problem. That's a
Right.
big problem.
I agree. The only thing I would say is, as a Niners fan, I would say they need to probably figure out who they're keeping, who they're not. Juwan's playing hurt, but Juwan might not be there next year. I think he only signed up to this year. So
Yeah.
that might be a decent trade candidate. Go get you some defensive help if you think you can still make it without him. Brandon Ayuk is a good option. If he's going to come back and he's healthy and he still wants to be traded, get rid of him.
Nobody's
The
going to
reason why
take
I'm
that
saying that,
trade.
Houston's interested, and Houston has
No
defense.
way. They're not going to be able to pay that much money. That's the
Where did
problem
where's all
is the
their money in?
contract.
They just traded Tunsil. They have money. They'll be fine.
No. No.
They're not paying CJ. He's still under his rookie contract.
No, a lot of the time, yeah. The problem is though, is once CJ has to get to that rookie contract, they're going to have all this money tied up in Ayuk. They're going to want the
It's
49ers to
it's
pay
only it's only
to
20
front.
million,
No,
right? Or is it 25? Or
they're
is it
gonna
30?
want
I
they're
think
gonna
it got
want
30.
regardless. They're gonna want the 49ers to front the bill, and the 49ers aren't.
No, they won't. They can't.
Exactly.
So
So
yeah.
because
I just think they need to
think
get
of
rid of
it
some of
as an
their
opponent
guys.
perspective though. Because say the Houston Texans, for some weird ass reason, make the Super Bowl, and so do the 49ers, they know that they are handicapped with their cap space to where they're not able to get the best players they can on the offseason to where Houston might be able to snag up those players. Maybe they want the same people. 49ers are snagged up with some wide receiver that loves to blow out his ACL every single year. So,
And
I
Brock
mean,
Purdy and Nick
like,
Bosa
yeah,
and
and
Trent
everybody
Williams.
else. So,
Yeah.
nobody wants to take that on because now that just hinders them the entire season and that gives all their opponents a bigger chance to win.
Yeah. But we'll see. The trade deadline's Monday, so I'm interested to see if they make any
Yeah.
moves. So
Yeah.
as of week 9, I ask this every week, and I kind of want to get your opinions. Who is currently the best team in the NFC? I think last week said the worst team. I won't do that this week. Who is the best team in the NFC? We'll start with NFC.
I still think it's the Eagles. They do it ugly. They do it ugly, 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 but they still win. They're still contenders every single time. They're not a team that every time you go into the pick'ems that you're like, oh, there's no way the Eagles are going to win. No, they're always competitive. They're just not. The problem is they're just not winning in the fashion that we're used to, but they're still a good team.
So this one hurts as a division rival, but I think it's the Rams. And the only reason why I'm going to say the Rams is because I think they're the best overall team. I think there's no two better receivers than Devontae and Puka in the NFC. I think Devontae Smith and AJ Brown are close, but Jalen doesn't get them the ball. And I think their defense is young and hungry and very good. They're sneakily good. I mean, they've always been good, but they're pretty good.
Yeah.
So I really like them. And so next is the AFC. I'm actually going to go first this time. I really like the Chiefs. I don't think the Colts are the best team. I think the Chiefs are the best team. And I know it was kind of shaky watching the game last night, but they always figured it out. An Andy Reid led team, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, while they're all still there, they're going to figure it out. Rashee Rice. I mean, who would have known about Rashee Rice? But they're all very good, man. Like, I really just think that experience is what's going to take them. I don't see the Bills beating them in the playoffs. I don't see the Ravens maybe not even making the playoffs at this point. And I don't really see. I mean, the Patriots are fine, but I don't know if they have that experience enough to beat Andy Reid in the playoffs. And I think that would be for me where I just don't see it happening. But what do you think? Who's the best team in the AFC in your opinion?
I do think that the Colts are. They're
Really?
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately,
Wow.
I think that the Chiefs should be playing the Colts in the regular season.
They do, yes.
So when that happens, then we'll go from there. The problem with the Chiefs is the Chiefs are always squeaking by. Yes, I understand they have the best coaching staff. I get it. They have the best quarterback. I get it. But at the end of the day, they have been winning very ugly, losing games that they shouldn't be. They're not playing effectively. They're not playing to the potential that they should be, where the Colts are playing above their potential. Jonathan Taylor is having an amazing year. Their line is doing great. They're giving Jones time to do what they need to do. Their wide receivers are getting separation. Their wide receivers are doing what they need to do. I mean, they are playing above the potential that they should be, and the Chiefs, in my opinion, are playing below the level that they should be. And, you know, everyone likes to say, "Oh, well, they're saving it for the playoffs." I'm not buying that every single time. I'm not buying that every single time. So, I don't know. For right now, I'm going with the Colts.
What's your early Super Bowl prediction matchup, in your opinion? Doesn't necessarily have to be the best team. It's just whatever team you think is going to get the Super Bowl.
I could see it. I could see it. I think Philly gets back there for the NFC. I think AFC. Honestly, I think it's Buffalo. I think Buffalo gets there.
Interesting. Yeah. My only concerns with Buffalo is that Josh Allen's just kind of been the guy and he hasn't really involved everybody. I mean, James Cook's too, but I just don't know if I trust that, especially in playoffs. For me, I would say it's either Super Bowl rematch, Eagles Chiefs.
Yeah.
or I see. I'm going to stick with the Chiefs. I do think the Chiefs. I think New England will get there in the next couple of years. I just think not this year. I think it'll be Chiefs for the AFC, NFC. I like Detroit, dude. Their defense is actually top 4 this year, which is surprising.
Wow.
So, yeah, look at the fantasy points. They're top 4 in fantasy, I should say. But my last one I have for you, and I think this is for the boy Hayden, because the boy, or H came on the show and gave us some hot takes about the Browns. Why won't the Browns start Shedeur Sanders, dude? I think at this point, it's been 8 weeks. They're on a bye in 9 weeks, the 9th week. They're not winning. Dylan Gabriel barely throws over. He throws under 200 yards consistently. He's throwing about 60% of his completion percentage. He's not scoring touchdowns. Like, what do they have to lose at this point? The coach, Stefanski, is like, well, he's not ready until next year. Next year? If you're going to do that, you might as well trade the boy. The trade deadline's coming up. Someone else will use him. I mean, what do you think? Honestly.
So to be honest, Shedeur Sanders.
Playing ability, though. I don't think. I know you don't like him personality.
No, I don't think that playing ability is the problem. I think, in all honesty, the reason why is because Shedeur Sanders is a bitch. Like, it's at the end of the day, it's what it is. His playing ability is probably better than Dylan Gabriel. I 100%. I don't watch college, so I can't say one way or another how he looked. From what I heard, some guy broke it down that showed that Shedeur Sanders was the short passing king of the world. 5-yard passes all day, did nothing else, couldn't throw a deep ball. Regardless, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch, so I can't say off of experience. But at the end of the day, Shedeur Sanders is just a bitch. What happened when Dylan Gabriel started? When Dylan Gabriel got the nod to start, what did he do? He did that stupid ass interview like an immature fucking 5-year-old. Really, bro? You're supposed to be a fucking adult. You're supposed to be a fucking man. Like, children look up to you and you're playing games like you're fucking playing Fortnite. Like, at the end of the day, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that fucking guy being the face of my franchise, whether he's good or not. You want to know why this is happening? This is happening because they're trying to make him grow up. Fucking understand. Dude, you don't see Patrick Mahomes doing this shit. You don't see any good athlete being like this. What happens when people start being divas? They start going downhill. It happened with T.O. It happened with Des Bryant. You didn't see Calvin Johnson doing that shit. You don't see Derrick Henry doing that shit. You don't see Jonathan Taylor doing that shit. Jonathan Taylor was in a contract dispute his entire time, and he didn't do it.
I would also argue that some of those guys are all-time greats. T.O. is an all-time great.
Sure, they could be all-time greats.
Antonio Brown, another controversial player where Mike Tomlin was able to keep the reins on him, but he was still a great player.
Right, but what did I say? Once they started being too high of divas, they declined. Because you don't want that guy being the face of your franchise. And that's the problem with Shedeur Sanders. I don't give a fuck if Shedeur Sanders would just fake it. Bro, just fake it. I don't care. Do what Aaron Rodgers does. Aaron Rodgers is a dick. All I'm saying is Shedeur Sanders, if he would just grow up, like literally understand that you're an adult, you are an adult man, you are a grown-ass man, and you're acting like you're a sophomore in high school, like, bro, you're never going to be the face of a franchise. I wouldn't want that at all. That's why he fell. That's why his stock fell. It wasn't because of his playing ability. It's just because you're acting like a bitch. You're acting like a bitch.
I was like, I'm going to come in and defend him. So
go ahead.
I think a lot of people don't like him for his ego. I don't mind a little bit of ego. I don't care what position you play. I mean, none of that. I mean, theatrics obviously doesn't bother me. I mean, look what we're doing for the show.
There's a type of ego, though.
I agree. I mean, Dion is also an all-time great, Hall of Famer. And I know you have issues with Dion as far as like maybe not him personally, but just like the way he acts.
Right.
And I just think there's two different school of thought. And I think he's very flashy, but Dion's one of those guys where he kind of could have been because he was the best. He is one of the best of all time. There's no denying that. And I think a lot of that is what he's instilled in his sons. And unfortunately, his draft stock dropped because of that. And it's because of Dion. It's because of the ego, right? It is an ego. Yeah, he does have an ego. But is he a checked out king? Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. But you know who else is a check down king that's making 50 something million dollars a year? Brock Purdy. Obviously, Brock Purdy doesn't have the ego. He's a very humble guy, but he's a check down king. And I don't think being a check down king isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, the Browns need to figure out something. They're not really doing anything.
I'm not saying it is, but that's exactly it. He's a humbled guy. That's who you want being the face of your franchise. So why? I mean, realistically, is Shedeur Sanders, if they started him, is he going to save their season? No, he's not. So why feed into his ego now?
I think it's because of this. I think, well, one, the miming thing was a response to Coach Rex Ryan, because he was on ESPN talking a bunch of shit. So Shedeur basically was like, I mean, that was a response. I don't agree with it, but that was his response. Rex Ryan was like, you can't be in there talking stuff. So he mimed it, which immature, yes. Did I find it funny? I mean, I kind of did. Some people didn't. It was bad taste, but what is Cleveland going to get out of it? I don't know, some wins. Your best player on your team wants wins. He said that after the game. He's frustrated. He had 5 sacks, and he's like, I would give up 5 sacks and not have a good game if we won a damn game. I don't blame him, but he did choose money over winning, so that's on him at the end of the day because he chose to stay there. But I think Shedeur gives him the best chance to win. It was never Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel isn't a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. And I don't think most people would have said that. I think his draft stock fell because of his dad, because of his ego, and that's it. But the only person that was better than him, and to me, was Cam Ward. And Cam Ward's a starter on a very bad team, and I think Shedeur. How many games has Dillon Gabriel won them? 1, I think, maybe 1, maybe 2. I forget. I think Shedeur can. Do you think Shedeur can get them more wins than Dillon Gabriel can? Because I don't think throwing under 200 yards and having a 60% completion percentage and maybe throwing a touchdown if you're lucky is going to win you a game. And honestly, the game that they did win, Quishon Judkins had like 3 touchdowns. So
at the end of the day,
that's where my head's at.
No, and you're right. The problem is, though, is every single person is thinking the same exact thing. We know this dude can play. We know he could be fine in the NFL. But what does all of that matter when the face of your franchise is a bitch? Like, you can't, there's no other word that I can use, dude, because I can't tolerate people that cannot grow up.
I think there's better words than just, I think bitch is more, I don't want to say trashy, but there's better words than bitch. I think you can say, he's a Nepo baby. I think that's fair. I think you can say he's
immature,
privileged.
Sure, whatever.
Privileged, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Privileged,
I think those are better words, privileged.
But that's not the word that he deserves. In my opinion, it's not the word he deserves. He deserves that word because he just can't figure it out. He literally cannot figure it out no matter how much people put it in his face. He cannot figure it out. And at that point, you're just choosing not to because you just think you're so great. So I think legitimately, if he would humble it up, he would probably start and he would have no problem, even if he had to fake it. But he can't figure it out, which is why at the same time, it might not even be a coaching decision. We don't know that, right? It could be an owner decision. The owner's like, dude, I don't want this mother trucker being the face of our organization.
Well, I think if that's the case, though, then they need to trade him. Like, why keep him at that point? See what I'm saying? Or cut him. Keep him. They already cut Shiloh. So what's the difference?
Keep him as a long-term project. You know he's going to do well, so why would you give him to another team? You just want him to grow up. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard.
But I think at the end of the day, if your best player on your team is telling you that he wants wins, I think that, to me, that holds more value than, oh, well, I'm the coach and I'm going to say I'm not going to start him. It's like, so you're going to lose your locker room over the fact that you just don't want to start a guy that people want to start. I mean, essentially, that's what Myles Garrett's saying. He's like, we need to win. And just Gabriel put them in a position to win?
He can say that all he wants. But just like you said, he chose money. So guess what? This is a byproduct of you choosing money. You chose money over winning because he easily could have got less money and went to the Chiefs, went to the Philadelphia Eagles, to teams that are Super Bowl caliber. But no, he wanted money. No, I want to stay loyal to my team. Bro, that team could care less for you. The second you get injured, they don't care. They will drop you.
Right.
It's a business. It's a business. Right. At the end of the day, it's a business. And what is it for a business? Perception. The fact that you have a quarterback who's supposed to lead your team, everybody knows in football, a quarterback is supposed to be the guy. Doesn't matter if you're on offense or defense. The quarterback is the guy. And the NFL is a business. The NFL will not do anything as an organization. You as a business that are competing with 31 other businesses is not going to put this guy as the head of your business. There's no way.
You know how that changes, right? So the Browns fans out there, Hayden or H, you guys got to voice your opinion, because there's a lot of fans that are asking why Shedeur's not playing, and you don't go to the games. Start wearing the bags over your heads. That's what they used to do, right? They wore the bags.
100%.
You don't buy the merch. You don't go to the games. You do all these things to show, hey, we want change. And if the players are not playing as well either, I mean, there's a lot of things, different things that can happen. But I'm just basically seeing the stuff that I'm seeing on TikTok and all these other places of fans interacting and people that I know. Personally, I've been a big Shedeur guy as far as like playing wise. I'm not going to speak on his character. I don't know him, but I think he gives that team the best chance to win. I don't think they do very good, but in general, I think he gives them the best chance to win. And I think after the bye week, there's no reason not to play him. He had nothing to lose at this point.
I just want to say, for the sake of the argument, for my last and final words of it, is just the simple saying. I know you're expecting something wild. It's not. It's more philosophical. Just be careful what you wish for. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful what you wish for, because you might not like what you get.
All right. That is our moment of Zen with X. The one and only.
After a full cat out session, this is what we get.
A full cat out of bitches. All right, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. That really helps us on the algorithm. Check us out on our social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. You name it, we're on it. We have our membership program. It's 99 cents for the first 100 people. I really recommend checking that out, especially if you want great fantasy advice and if you just want to be a part of our community. If you made it this long, go ahead and drop us a comment. Tell us if you like some of our takes, you didn't like some of our takes. Tell me if you think X is a bitch for calling Shedeur a bitch. I mean, I'm okay with that.
Let's go.
There's a lot of bitches in that rant there. But please go ahead and comment, interact with us. We'll respond back. We'll be posting our shorts. This episode comes out Wednesday morning. So if you're watching this, share it out with your friends. We're here to build a community and offer everyone not only hot takes, of course the hot takes get pretty wild, but we're here to educate the public, veterans and newbies alike. Basically, we're trying to give you guys fantasy advice that's free, that's going to help you win your league. And obviously the goal is always to make playoffs. There's a little bit of luck involved in the sport, or in the game, I should say. But if you do the things that you need to do, you put yourself in the best position to succeed. So thanks for sticking around. And until next time, everybody, peace.
Later.